Hello YouTubers. I don't normally make car repair or auto repair videos, but I felt I needed to put one out there just in case anyone else has the same problem that I've experienced with a 2008 Ford Escape Hybrid. We had some noises on the left rear, and when I inspected it and I took it apart, the 2008 Escape Hybrid has a disc drum combination. The disc actually stopped the wheel, and then the drum is for the emergency parking brake. One of these little pins that holds the drum pad right here for the emergency parking brake that rests in here. These little pins go in right there. They actually come the other way, but unfortunately they connect over here to this dust shield right there. As you can tell, there's a little set of guides that it goes down in there and twists and then holds this drum pad safely to the dust shield. If your Escape was like mine, it was a northern vehicle for the first 13 years. It has a lot of rust underneath. As you can see, there's not much left of this dust shield. Where this screw went on this side, the hole is actually too large. It should look like this, and it has rusted out. When I first started this project, Dorman makes a split wheel dust shield, and it's Dorman part number 924-662. The problem I ran into is that on the 08 Escape, they do not list that this will fit on it. It actually does. It fits very well. The only other option that you have is Ford has discontinued, but you can buy this entire bracket that holds the caliper and the dust shield, but you have to take the hub and the bearing out, which is pressed into place, which is a lot of work. I didn't feel like doing that, so I went to my local auto parts store. They actually had this two-piece cover, and it fits nicely. I had to cut. The original cover was one piece, so unless you take the hub and bearing off, you have to cut it. And I'm going to finish putting this other half on and button it up. I apologize that I couldn't show you how I took the pieces off, but I will show you how I put them back together. The most difficult piece to put on for the dust shield is the top piece. There is an opening right here where this bracket holds the shoes, and this is the emergency brake connector, and you have to bend it straight out, work it on, and then push it back. And then the bottom one I'm going to have to lay the phone down. I'm doing this by myself, but it should just slide right on. Okay, the bottom one is a very tight fit. It does fit. You have 4 holes. There's 1, 2 up top. There's another one. And there's 2 on the bottom. And what you have to do is put these 4 bolts in those holes, which I'm going to do now. I've got the bolts in, just tightening them up. The hub is in the way. Another problem that I ran into is this Allen ratchet will not fit with the ratchet attached to the back. So I had an old Allen wrench that I cut the tip off of, and I put it in there like that, and then I use this wrench to grab a hold and then tighten them down really tight. Okay, now that I've tightened all 4 of those bolts down using the unconventional cut Allen tip and a wrench. Sometimes your Allen bit will get stuck in the wrench, but actually kind of helps you. And those bolts actually do hold this flange on here. My flange did not come off because it's rusted to the back. Thus, you want to get those bolts pretty tight. I'm not sure what the torque specs are on them, but I would say get them as tight as you possibly could. Now I'm going to put the emergency brake shoes back on, and this spring up top, I'm going to do the top first. And then there's another spring and the adjustment setting screw on the bottom. I can't do that and hold the phone, so I'm going to go ahead and start putting those on, and I'll show you what it looks like when I get it on there. Here's what the top looks like once you get it on, and now we're going to do the bottom. Out of this entire project, the hardest thing to do is to put those springs back on. I did the top first, and then I did the bottom spring. I don't know if you can see that. Sorry for the bad camera. But that is the most difficult of switching out this dust shield. And now the problem that we ran into was this screw with the spring. They go right in here, and you twist them down with a Phillips and you lock them in, which I'm going to do next. There's another one that goes over here, and that's what had fell out and was rolling around inside the drum. So now I'm going to put those in. So I got the pins in. I had a little trouble. I used the original springs and pins. They were a little rusty too, so I had to sand down the ends, the width of the pins just a little bit with some sandpaper so they would go into the receiving end slots on the dust shield. And after a few minutes I got them in there. Would have bought new ones, but the auto parts store was currently out of them, and I figured these pins would be okay. Now you just finish, put the hub on. Next you put the caliper back on with the pads, these 2 bolts. right here, one right there, one right there. And I use this 7mm Allen hex bit to put those in. And lastly, we put the wheel on. And last, I tighten them up using a torque wrench, and that should have it fixed. You can also buy the complete dust shield that comes in the one-piece factory, just like the one that I removed. It is a Ford part number 8L8Z-2212-B. Or if you're like me and you don't want to take the hub and the wheel bearing off, then the Dorman 2-piece dust shield, when you do purchase the Dorman, it's about $85 is what I paid, and you get both sides. This is the right hand side. I replaced the left hand side. That was the side that was broken. I'll probably replace the right hand side another day. It's very hot outside. That's why I'm in the garage trying to stay cool. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope it helps somebody else out that has a 2008 Ford Escape when or if your dust shield rusts apart and your emergency brake drums springs release, and you will definitely, like we heard, a grinding noise. And if that's the problem, then the Dorman 2-piece is a very easy solution. Thanks again for watching.